Hello, welcome to this video lecture on the editing process. My name is Anne Helsdinge and I work at the Center for Digital Education here at EPFL. Today I'll talk to Matthew Goodman about the editing process here in EPFL. Welcome, Matthew.
Thank you, Anne.
So, Matthew, what happens when a professor is finished here recording his video lectures in the studio?
So what we do is in the studio here that we're recording in right now, we record on 3 different video streams. So there's the front camera. So when we're addressing you, the viewer, we're talking into the front camera. Then we do a screen capture of a graphics tablet that we have here as well in the studio. And then we have one more camera which is above the graphics tablet to record the hands writing on the slides. And then what happens is we do the recording all 3 streams normally. And then once the recording's finished, those are all getting saved directly onto what we call the rushes server. So this is all the raw, unedited footage that gets saved onto this server where the editors can access that from our workstations here.
Okay. And then what do you do with those rushes?
So those rushes will then use those rushes for making our video edits for each of the videos that get used in the courses. So this can be lecture videos that get used in courses, or it can be any other kind of video content that's getting used. So sometimes we record demonstrations in the studios, sometimes we record teaser videos as well, so presentation videos presenting course materials and things like that. Okay,
and so you decide whether you take, when you go and edit this video, for example, you decide whether you take the camera image from this or from that one at this moment that we're
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So when I'm editing, I'm watching and listening to what's being said and kind of assessing whether it's good to see the presenter on screen talking directly to the viewers, or if it's more important for the viewers to see what's happening on a slide in case there's some explanation that's going on of an equation or something like that.
Okay.
It'll be makes much more pedagogical sense to see what's happening on the slides.
Okay. And once you've done that edit, is it done, or do you have a review? Does the professor see it? How does that go?
Yeah, so what we do is we've put together the first version of the edit, of the video rather, and then from there there's kind of an iterative process where we send over a video, the professor will review it. If they see errors in what they've said or little mistakes in the editing, then they let us know, and we use a special program for that, which we can talk about later.
Okay.
And so yeah, this kind of back and forth process normally happens 2 or 3 times, maybe more, depending on how many small minor errors need to get corrected. But yeah, typically 2 or 3 times, and then the video will be approved, and then we'll be prepared for uploading.
Okay. So, and when you say we send the videos to the professors, do you send them by email? How do you provide the professors with the videos?
So we have 2 different options. So if we have a MOOC that's happening just with staff or professors that are here on campus, then we use our internal servers here, and they have access with that with their logins and everything like that.
Okay.
But if we have a lot of external contributors for a course, then we'll set up a Google Drive, and then we'll share those links to the professors via our project management software, which we use, Trello.
Okay, so you use a specific software to manage this process?
We do, yes. Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us a bit about it? How does it work?
Sure. So I've got Trello up on screen here. So Trello is a project management software. We use it to keep track of the various different stages that a video is under. So here, these are all MOOC courses that are either in production or currently getting produced with our video team here at the Center for Digital Education.
How many boards do you have on average normally?
Too many.
No, I can see that.
It depends. Typically, we're working on between 3 or 4 different MOOCs.
Per editor or
per
as a
editor,
team? Per editor. Okay.
Yeah. So if we pick, for example, Synchrotron, this is a course that's currently in production.
Right.
So here we can see that the professor for this course has already recorded quite a number of videos. Each of these columns represents a different stage at which the video is at. So we've got the to edit column. So when we record a new video and it gets backed up onto the servers, then we create a video card on the board for the relevant MOOC. So if I create a little test test card here.
Right.
So that would be one recording that gets done, and then in here you're able to add in comments, add in deadlines, assign labels, and assign different members to each of the video cards. And this is a really great way for us to kind of keep track of what stage the video is at, the corrections that need to be made, if they've been made, when they've been made, and then further on down the line, once it's uploaded onto the platform, we have also columns for certain MOOCs for subtitling as well,
right,
and the generation of subtitles, closed captions, and everything.
Yes. So here they only get to audio and color corrections, and then they're going to uploading.
Exactly.
But they could be also steps in between, right?
Exactly.
It's
So when I do the first edit, I will then move this card over,
right,
and then I'll post up a link in the comments section showing exactly where the teacher can find the video to have a look at. And then once he's reviewed, he'll then again click on here, leave a comment with all the changes that he wants made,
right,
and then click and drag the card back over to edit. Then each time a card gets moved between columns, whoever is assigned to the card also receives email notifications, so it keeps everybody up to date and on the same page, and it's very easy to have a very quick global overview of what's happening with the course, and also you can go into a video by video level of detail.
Can you give some examples of corrections that people want to have made?
So sometimes it might be errors in writing. Here in the studio we've got the capability of annotating on our slides, and quite often we have small errors with regards to equations, and a small error in an equation can mean that the whole thing is completely wrong. So
yes,
it's very important that all of these kind of small little details get found and corrected. So corrections of equations is one. It might be that there are some pauses or some hesitations that the teacher would prefer aren't in there. And then there may be occasions as well where there's such a big error in something that's been said or something that's been presented that we would then notify the professor that they would need to come in for a re-recording. So that's something that we can't fix in the edit, and they have to come in and be in the studio and re-record either just one slide or a section of a slide. And then that would then get edited into the video as a correction.
Does it happen often, these re-recordings?
No, not very often, fortunately, but it all depends. It all depends on how prepared they are for their recording. So we can tell within the first few minutes if someone's well prepared for their recording, if they're presenting well in front of camera in a nice smooth way, and also when they're going through and annotating their slides and going through their content, they're doing it in a much clearer and much more concise way than someone who isn't necessarily as familiar with their content as they should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I just moved the paper. I guess that's not the correct thing to do.
So yeah.
Now we go again. As an example, we can even leave it maybe in the video, but I would ask you again, does it happen often, Matthew, that people come in to re-record their video?
No, not that often, thank goodness. But there are occasions, such as when you were moving the paper before. As you were moving the paper, I was thinking, I'm going to have to edit this out. But
no, you don't.
But yeah, so they would come in and we would notify them actually if there was an error that needed re-recording, because it's something that we wouldn't be able to fix in the editing program. Yeah.
Okay, good. What happens with the board once a video is completely uploaded, once a MOOC is done? Do you keep the boards? Do you chuck them away? I mean, after 3 years, do you still have some of the boards from MOOCs that were produced 3 years ago?
Yeah, so for us, it costs us nothing to keep the boards up and on Trello, and we never know when someone might want to come back and do corrections. We have had it. Have had the case where people have come back 2, maybe 3 years later and kind of want to revise or revitalize their MOOC a little bit. Sometimes that's adding in new videos, which isn't such a problem, but sometimes it's adding in extra corrections. So it can be helpful to have that previous information of what a video has gone through and what the different stages of that video has already been through.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much time do you usually spend on a video? Like, say, a video of 10 minutes. How much time editing does that cost you?
So it's kind of a how long is a piece of string question. So some professors, a 10-minute video could be, a 15-minute recording, but for others, and the way that they record in the studio, a 10-minute video could be a 45-minute recording. So this depends a lot on the techniques that they're using when they're recording in the studio, and how prepared they are. So, for example, with the techniques, as I mentioned before, we're able to annotate on the slides. So that process of writing out clearly and legibly on the slides takes a little bit of time to do.
Yes.
And so we prefer that they take their time to write out, and then during the editing, we will we'll speed up that writing and then kind of synchronize that with the voice as well. So that's one reason why a 10-minute video might be a 45-minute recording. Right. But others, they prefer to simply record just with a PowerPoint presentation, and in that case it can go, depending on how well prepared they are, it can be a very quick recording. So they can just go from beginning to end, and if they know their content well, then they're not making that many hesitations or mistakes, and so it's a very easy process for me when I'm doing the editing. I receive it, I put all the files into the editing software, and then it's just a very simple case of kind of trimming the end and trimming the beginning, and then maybe taking out one or two hesitations during the video itself. But other than that, there might not be that much that's needed. Sometimes if people are also presenting with PowerPoint presentations, and if they're not so familiar with their content, they might re-record the same slide 2, 3, 4 times, which is absolutely fine. It's totally possible in the studios to do that. And it's something that we recommend as well, that when you're recording your presentation, you don't have to go perfectly from beginning right through to the end. You can take your time, go step by step, slide by slide through your presentation. It's better that at the end of the recording, you have a really great take of each slide, rather than have one take of the whole presentation, which is not so great.
Okay, good. So now I can see that we've been here for about 14 minutes.
Yep.
It might get cut into a 10-minute, hopefully a 10-minute video.
Yep.
How long will it take you think, this video to edit?
Oh, I imagine this video will probably take me around about 45 minutes to edit. Yeah.
Perfect.
It shouldn't be too bad.
Okay, good. So we've done a good job. We were prepared. Thank you very much, Matthew.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.